Welcome back, everybody. It is the Hobby Nonsense Podcast. I am your host, Jesse Gibson, aka Sports Boy, and I am excited to be here, but I have to tell you right off the bat, we don't have that much time, and you're probably thinking to yourself, I got all the time in the world, buddy. I'm just out here mowing my lawn, driving cross country, whatever you're doing right now. But here's what you don't know is we got a lot to talk about. It's only been a week since the last episode, but I feel like there's just been so many things. Like I have a little notepad, which if you're watching on YouTube, the full episode on YouTube, you can see right now. There's a lot. I filled up all of the pieces on the space on this paper. So there's a lot to talk about. There's a exciting thing that's going on with this podcast starting, I think, next episode, which I'm not going to spoil it right now. You'll just have to tune in, okay? I'm not going to be one of those guys. It's a thing with Ray. That's the secret. I'm not going to. So anyways, we are going to get right into it. We do have a special guest. I've already recorded that interview. This is one of those going back in time type of moments where Matt Hathorn, I wanted to say Hawthorne about 100 times, but I didn't. Matt Hathorn is joining us. And if you don't know the name, it's because you haven't read the PSA non-sport article, the PSA magazine non-sport article, I should say, that features some of his collection. It's a very interesting, especially to us, call it 30 and 40-year-olds that are collecting non-sport cards, whether you collect the non-sport cards or not. If you're somewhere in that age range, and even still greater and less than that age, you're going to love a lot of these cards. He's just an overall cool guy. I appreciate his collecting, and I really appreciate what we're going to talk about here soon. More to come there. First things first. Actually, where do I want to start? So let's start with the Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy update. So if you're not aware, the last episode I talked about how Final Fantasy, the collaboration with MTG has been huge. It's been, in fact, I just found out from one of the listeners, thank you, Austin, who mentioned that this is the most popular collaboration they've done as far as monetarily. It's outsold all the other ones. And it made me think, well, I need to add a little clarification because I was also a little confused on what kind of boxes provided what as far as the big chase cards go. Because if you didn't hear in that last episode, I talked about how it's a chocobo. If you're not familiar with Final Fantasy, get familiar first off. But also there's a card called the Traveling Chocobo. It's a borderless card, and these are going for crazy amounts, especially there's this Japanese black chocobo that is going for thousands and thousands of dollars in sales. But then there's ones that are coming out of this product, the English version of the product, that it's the neon blue or the neon pink or the neon green. They're this serialized out of 77. These cards are going for multiple thousands of dollars at this moment. There's also other characters and cards in there that go for a few hundred up to $700 or so. But the chocobo is the chase, and you can't get that in every product. So what I was told was the cards are in collector boxes, but they're called collector booster boxes. There's also the Omega box. That's the retail version of this product. I don't believe you can get it out of the Omega box, which is one of the reasons why those are a little bit cheaper. And then those are the ones you can get at Walmart. So if you were out at Walmart and you find some of those, you may want to keep your eyes peeled because those are doing pretty well resale-wise. But then there's also some more expensive collaboration boxes, special edition bundle boxes that would include it as well. That is really where you can find these cards. But what's interesting is I didn't realize just how popular these MTG collaborations are getting. I didn't realize too that Spider-Man is doing a collaboration as of, I think, September 26th is when that releases this year. There's also, I think I mentioned this maybe a few months back, Avatar: The Last Airbender. They're doing a collaboration there. But as you start scrolling through, I mean, the list goes on and on of all of the different collabs that they have done. I've got it pulled up here. So you've got collaborations with Deadpool. They did a Deadpool one. I didn't even remember hearing about that one. There is also SpongeBob, which we mentioned recently. Hatsune Miku, which I'm not super familiar with, but apparently it's popular. Marvel superhero last year, they did Chucky, like the horror movie thing. Ghostbusters, Monty Python. Monty Python has a collaboration set with MTG. Assassin's Creed, Fallout, Clue, like the board game Clue, Tomb Raider, Jurassic Park, Doctor Who. These are all within the last 2 or 3 years. It goes back, they've got more than that, but I think a lot of us probably first heard of some of these collaboration sets when they did the Lord of the Rings, and that's when you saw the Post Malone card, or the card that Post Malone bought, the One Ring, the serialized one of one ring that went for $2 million. I think ever since Magic has been incorporating some of these serialized numbers or serialized cards, that we're seeing the value start to really increase. Again, it's one of these things where it's like, is this demand for the IP? Is it demand over the gameplay? I have to imagine it's just IP based. I don't think many people are like, oh, I have to have that card for the competition coming up. But I'm sure similar to Pokemon, where it's like, well, if it also benefits in gameplay, it only helps to increase value. But overall, this is something, this whole universe beyond collaboration that MTG is doing with all these different IP sets is definitely creating more and more buzz. That Spider-Man set that I mentioned, it's already going, it like within the last couple weeks, basically, since everyone has seen the popularity of Final Fantasy, it has gone up in pre-sale value about $200. It was selling for around $550, and now it's up to $750. Who knows what that ends up going to, because you've got the boxes going for like thousands of dollars for Final Fantasy ones. So again, we'll see how that continues, if there is going to be a huge outpouring of, I guess, demand for it. But the Golden Chocobo out of 77, I think that is the most chased card in that set right now. But then when you start looking at the other ones, basically, if you get a bird and it's colored, you're probably going to be in good shape, especially if it's out of 77 in that set. I wanted to mention that one first off. It's a little more fun. There's another new set coming out. Scooby-Doo from Upper Deck finally seems to have a release date, and that is this Wednesday. If you're listening to this podcast right now, it's probably Wednesday, honestly. It comes out on Tuesdays, but it's Wednesday's the more popular listening day, apparently. And that is pretty cool. It's a cool set. It's about $150 a hobby box right now. Who knows if that's going to go up, if that stays about the same. But there is an interesting card or pieces of card in there. There's memorabilia pieces is what I'm getting at. The memorabilia, I am trying to figure out what that comes from, because this, from everything I can see, is the animated cartoon of Scooby-Doo, but they've got like pieces of Velma's shirt in some of the cards. They've got some tire, it looks like, from the Mystery Machine. I don't know what that is exactly. So I've reached out to Jason, the CEO of Upper Deck, and he got me in touch with one of the people. Unfortunately, I emailed them today and they are out of the office until tomorrow. So I won't have an answer exactly what these materials belong to. And since the product doesn't release before this pod comes out, I'll have to update you guys next week when I finally hear back. But the set overall, I mean, it looks pretty cool. I guarantee you there's going to be some chase in there, especially because they have, again, serialized cards. They've got parallels. They've got some other neat inserts. It doesn't look like they've got, this isn't like one of those PMG, like where they're adding a PMG like they're going to be doing with the new Batman product that comes out from Upper Deck here, hopefully in the next month or two. Again, that's another one of those where the calendar, depending on what release calendar you look at, you're not really sure when it's coming, but I'm seeing some, I think David Adams is showing something like at the end of August. So we'll see. I'm still very excited about that one, but either way, the Scooby-Doo one comes out this Wednesday. I think that'll be a popular one amongst the non-sport collectors. Something I'm not a big fan of. I don't really like to talk about it all that much because I don't like to give any credence to it, like give any, respectability to it or just any acknowledgement of it, but it's CT scanning. All right. So CT scanning is something that we talked about a lot on the Sports Cards Nonsense podcast, and I've talked about it on here some too, but we hadn't really brought it up because I hadn't really been seeing as much about it. At least not in the last couple months. Someone sent me a post maybe last week, and it was about a eBay listing that sold, and I believe it was a legitimate sale. I don't know for sure if it's been paid for or not, but it was showing in Card Ladder sales history at $30,000, and this was for a pack, just a single pack of Pokemon cards. Now, it's not just any ordinary pack, of course. This is going to be a Pokemon base pack, and it says in the description or like in the title of it that it is a CT scanned pack, and it includes a Shadowless Charizard in it. So eBay listing shows this selling for $30,000. It has images within that show like little pieces, I guess, of like Charizard's wing, and maybe I can't really tell like how you could see definitively that it is shadowless, but nonetheless, it is listed as Shadowless Charizard in CT scan pack Pokemon base set heavy booster. This is upsetting because I think the person that actually listed it also posted on X some additional detail of where they had it scanned. And when you go there, I'm not going to mention the name because I'm not going to encourage people to go out there and look. But they've got that's dedicated to CT scanning cards and boxes of cards. It is not like a CT scanning company that does other things. This is primarily just a company for scanning cards, and they've got it listed out for both public authentication. So if you wanted to auction your item and you wanted to verify what was in there, which, let's just be clear, I don't necessarily have an issue with that. But then it's like the private CT scanning. So they've got it priced out for loose card packs, bulk loose card packs, Pokemon booster boxes specifically. And then as you scroll down, you see they've got it broken out for Panini products, Topps products, Upper Deck products. The fact that there's Marvel boxes on here that you can get scanned for $75 is what it says. That's the pricing they put to scan a box. That is insane to me because there will be so many people that will do this, and I want to discourage this so much. And it's like, well, Jesse, you could just not talk about it. But by not talking about it, I don't think that's going to solve it. I think people are going to continue to do that, continue to CT scan their purchases, their boxes, their packs. I think this has to be something that the manufacturers start really considering some way that it can be shown if something has been scanned, because I don't know how else to stop it. I don't know how to stop people from doing this other than continuing with the general idea that this is not a accepted practice in our hobby. And I think that's something that we can all encourage others to know and believe and push that ideology. But at the same time, there's still going to be bad actors no matter what we say and do, no matter who of us think we shouldn't be doing it. So that's where I think it comes back to, again, the manufacturers. Is there a way to show that, hey, this has been scanned somehow? And I say that because, there's things that show if something's been X-rayed. I don't know if that's the same technology. I'm not really exactly sure of how all of it works, but I'm just hoping that there is something that could indicate, because I can just say, based on the pricing that they're putting on some of these sites to do this. And again, this is if this is not a scam, I haven't done it myself, and I don't ever plan on doing it. So, and I don't know anyone personally who's done it. So all I know is what people are showing online. And it does seem to be something that actually does work, and people are paying to do it. So just wanted to mention it as something that has come up again in recent news. And now I tried to find too, if other eBay listings are out there listed at as CT scanned. I can't find it. Actually, I couldn't find any that say it was CT scanned. Most of, and this is a weird thing to put, but most of them have titles that say not CT scanned. Which, here's the thing: if you're going to say not CT scanned, you might as well just say it was already CT scanned, because it feels like you're going out of your way to say something that you actually did. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But anyways, that's enough about that topic. Let's see. Couple other things. Oh, actually, I have like a whole list of like things that I wanted to mention, just some quick hit notes. But one thing I wanted to do real quick. So courtyard.io, one of the sponsors of the show, in fact, it was the first sponsor of this podcast. They do a really cool thing where they've got basically vending machine packs of Pokemon and sports cards. And you can go out there and buy one, and you can get your card and they'll buy it back. If you don't want to keep it, they'll buy it back for at least 90% of what you paid for it. So even if you don't get something that's more valuable than what you spent on it, you're at least getting back the majority of the money you spent. Well, they just introduced comic books. So they just introduced comic book cards as part of the vending machine package. They reached out to me actually today, and they said, hey, how would you like to do a giveaway of one of those comics? Because it costs $200 for these graded comic books that you pull from the vending machine. And of course I said, yes, that sounds awesome. I'd love to give you guys, the listeners, a comic book. So whether you're watching this on YouTube or if you're listening to this, this is basically what you need to do. I'm about to do it. I'm about to do it right now while we're on this episode. If you want to try and get this comic book to win it for yourself for the giveaway, you can be a new or existing user, but you do need to use a link to be able to do this, because you have to go out and get a pack for yourself. It doesn't have to be a comic book, because I know those are expensive. You can also just do a pack of Pokemon cards for $25 or a pack of sports cards for $25. You can just use their regular service, but that is how they're tracking it. They're basically saying, hey, if you go to my links in my Instagram profile, the sports cards nonsense, or I'm sorry, excuse me, I forgot what podcast I'm on. If you go to the Sports Boy Instagram page, which is literally just the Sports Boy, BOI, if you're searching online, or if you go to the Hobby Nonsense Instagram page, you can find the link. You click on it, and if you go from there to buy one of these things, whether you've got an account or not already, that's how you sign up. And that's basically it. That's how you sign up. They'll keep track of it, and then they'll give me the names, and we will figure out who won. But let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and do this giveaway right now. I am going to the website. I have it pulled up. All right, here we go. Animation of the comic book pack is showing. I've purchased it. I'm now opening it. We're about to find out. Here's the problem, though. I don't know exactly the value, but the good news is that once I find out what it is, it will tell me the relative value of it, especially if I wanted to sell it back. Well, there you go. That's awesome. Okay, so the great news is whoever wins this is valued at more than what the comic book vending machine pack was. So it was $200 to buy, but it sells for just about $300. In fact, I could sell it back to them right now if I wanted for $300, which actually, I guess that means it's actually worth more than that, because they're only offering me a 90% buyback price. So hello, that's basically, we got a $300 comic book. The comic book is Amazing Spider-Man number 73. It is a CGC 9.2 white pages. I don't know exactly what that means, as I'm not a huge comic book collector. Note to self, get comic book collector on the podcast. But it's Marvel Comics, and it says 6 out of 69. I'm not, again, these are things I'm not 100% sure about what they all mean. However, what I do know, this means that you can win this comic book. Once we find the winner, it's easy for me to just send it over to you through the system. So really straightforward. I'll also have this running in the Non-Sports Cards Nonsense Facebook group as well. Again, you click the link and you get a pack. Doesn't have to be a comic book pack. It can be. You can get a sports pack, a Pokemon pack, whatever it is. But as long as you go through the link and do that, then you're entered to win automatically. And then I will be able to announce who wins, hopefully next episode. So there you go, people. Thank you. And let's go on. Something else I was going to talk about was the question of how is Pokemon pricing what it is. Everyone keeps talking about, oh, the pricing is so high right now, and why is it so high? And there doesn't seem to be any good answers, at least that I've been able to find. Every time I raise the question, nobody seems to really know, other than, well, they've become more popular in recent time because it was scarce and there was more demand. But I found something recently that I wasn't really aware of. But apparently, Pokemon has in recent months become available in China, and apparently the Chinese market has been all in on Pokemon. It's been a huge demand. And I do think that is playing a big factor in what we're seeing right now, which is like, even though there's like what 17,000 Umbreons, the Moonbreon card out there, they still sell for between like $1,000 and $1,500. That's insane to me. First off, that there's 17,000 of them and they are selling at that high of a price. But it also kind of makes sense if you think about essentially opening up a huge new market for this card and there being popularity there. So I just wanted to throw that out there. If anyone else has heard anything like this, if they've experienced this or seen this for themselves. But when I saw that, it did, I don't know, it clicked something in my head to think, oh, so maybe this is like a legitimate demand and not just some manufactured false flag type of thing. So that's it. That's all I wanted to mention there. A couple other things before we get to our interview. One, I will be breaking this Wednesday. So if you're listening to this podcast on Wednesday, this evening, I will be breaking more Marvel 2025 Topps Chrome Marvel. It has been very exciting. I don't want to lie. One of the boxes or one of the cases I had did include a Eve Warlock 1/1 Claude Chrome card. Not a big deal that they're giving Super Fractor Claude Chrome claws to me. I don't like to brag about it or speak clearly when I say it. But anyways, it's pretty cool. It's a great product. It's a really fun product. Granted, it is expensive if you're buying a box straight out. That's a good and bad thing, right? Like this goes back to the age old question, like, do I want my cards to be valuable or do I want it to be cheap for me to get into it? Because I can't really have both of them necessarily sometimes. But either way, if you want to check it out, I'm on Fanatics Live. Come over there and check it out. That's a shameless plug for me. One other thing was the Facebook group. So the Facebook group is still known as Non-Sports Cards Nonsense. I was thinking about rebranding to Hobby Nonsense Cards and Collectibles. I had renamed it actually last week. And then if you didn't know, Fanatics has done, or not Fanatics, pardon me, Fanatics, you were on my mind. Facebook has done some crazy stuff they did last week. And basically by mistake, they took down thousands of Facebook groups. Now, thankfully, they recognized their error. They acknowledged it and they got groups back. Our group, the Non-Sports Cards Nonsense Facebook group, was taken down for a short period. And even though I changed it to Hobby Nonsense, they changed it back to Non-Sports Cards Nonsense, which I feel is kind of weird. But that being said, I don't think I'm going to change it right now. I think I'll end up making a Hobby Nonsense Facebook page. Pages are different than groups if people aren't familiar with that. The only reason I know that is because I run some. But that being said, if you guys are ever looking for more posts about non-sports cards, what I talk about here, there's no buy, sell, trade in the group. It's just simply to post and talk about and enjoy non-sports cards and to some degree a little bit other collectibles as well, but mainly the cards. And so that's all I wanted to mention is it's back up and running. It's got like almost 65,000 followers. So a lot of you probably already are very well familiar with it, but I at least wanted to mention it because I don't really think I've talked it up very much on here. So I think that's about it. I think we'll go ahead and get on with our interview with Matt Hathorn. Again, Matt is a great guy. At the end of the interview, I'll add in something that because we ended up talking for at least 10, 15 minutes after the interview was over. And there was something I wanted to share that I forgot to share during the interview. So enjoy this. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to that segment of the show where we have our guest. Matt Hathorn is the guest of today's show. And You may have found that name to be familiar if you were listening or reading, I should say, the one of the more recent PSA non-sport magazine issues, because in the back there's an article entitled "I Love the '90s, Slabbed by the Bell." Matt, thank you for joining the show today, and thank you for your love of '90s cards.
Oh yeah, you bet, man. Thank you so much for having me on.
All right. So first off, Matt, I've already started this off on a weird way on how most of these interviews go. I don't give any kind of prep of how we're going to talk or what we're going to talk about, but I felt
Mhm.
like when I saw you come into the room, like you have a blue tank top, you've got like this mohawk type of hairstyle. Your shirt says Funkle, for goodness sakes.
Yeah,
You look like you're
yeah.
ready to rock, and I was just like, I feel too subdued for this, and I apologize. So now I'm just trying to keep up and catch up to your style. What is it that makes you who you are, Matt? in
Uh,
2 words or
uh,
less.
I mean, other than Funkle, I mean, that's it, man. Like some people say, like life's too short for fun. Some people say it's too short for anything else.
Yeah,
And yeah, I've done enough serious stuff in my life that hey, it's all about fun
dude,
now.
your collection alone basically embodies what you like. This image of you is your collection. I feel like after
Yeah.
looking through some of these cards and looking through like your Urkels, your PSA 10 Urkels, your Saved by the Bells. Tell me when did you start collecting
Okay.
what would be considered for a lot of people the junk wax era '90s sitcom
Yeah.
TV shows?
Like we didn't realize how good we had it with the junk wax. Everybody says it was bad, but like Harry and the Hendersons isn't getting made today, right?
That's
Harry and the
fair.
Hendersons had an entire set. Alf had an entire set of cards, and we don't have Breaking Bad. We don't
That's
have The
crazy.
Wire.
Is that not nuts that like we had those,
Yeah,
but we don't have like some of the most popular TV shows in history right now?
RoboCop 2.
I
Um,
mean, yeah, that's a good question. You're making a solid point because even then, even if you were going to have those today, you'd at least have like autographs in there or like parallels or numbered stuff to like
good.
increase rarity. But it was just like it's just paper cards for the most part.
I mean, they were garbage, right? And the rarity, the scarcity, right? What I go for with these cards is the condition, right? Because the
Mhm.
poor souls who are cutting these cards with butter knives, the edges are absolute garbage. And so, no, they're not numbered. They're, I mean, holograms, but you're going to find one, maybe two candidates for PSA 10 per box. Like they're awful. And so the scarcity is there. It's just in a different form than we see in modern cards.
So that is what I think a lot of people don't appreciate is that, they're like, oh, there's no value in junk wax. Well, that's not true. There is value, but it does
Mm-hmm.
come from like finding that perfectly conditioned card because like you said, it's so few and far between where you find something that doesn't have like either a dent in it or off center or off, the colors are off or
Or
anything else.
or
Where
gum
or
stuck on it.
yeah, that should increase value. That's my
Yeah,
argument, but whatever.
agreed. It's not high chews.
Yeah, exactly. So how is it that you got into PSA magazine for your collection?
Okay. So John Gold is an editor, and I would post. He's an editor for PSA magazine, and he does a pop culture. And I would post the dumbest cards I have on Reddit, right, on their trading card community.
Well, now what
And
defines the dumbest cards you have? What would that look
okay,
like?
okay. So there's a scale of like dumbness, and at some point it goes from dumb to awesome.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. And like there are very few people who are highly intelligent enough and good looking enough to understand that. So clearly you are.
Obviously, I'm one of them, and I think the
Yeah.
listening
I knew
audience
it.
it
I knew
falls
it.
into that category as well.
Uh,
Just to be clear, when we're talking about dumb, this is not dumb from my viewpoint because we're talking like if you watch TGIF growing up,
yeah.
like you are
Yeah.
all in on this. If you were a Saved by the Bell
Yeah.
kid, you are all in on this. You've crossed the
You,
line to awesomeness.
yeah, absolutely. And right. And that's what these cards are. The whole set is opening it and every single card you're like, this is amazing. And you're cracking up. Like there's a headshot of Balky Bartokomous, right? From Perfect Strangers.
Uh,
And it's
Dude,
And some of
the
them,
Bronson Pinchot, or I don't even know how you
oh
pronounce his
yeah,
last
no,
name.
it's
The
Bronson Pinchot.
the fact that he is still signing, like he's in Leaf Pop Century, even 2025,
Yeah,
he's signing for Leaf. But I don't see that guy. When I see him, I only think
nope,
90s television. I don't think of him as anything
yeah,
else. But that's the thing. It's the strongest nostalgia of probably
yep,
any actor that I would see right now.
yeah. But that's all of those characters is right. They weren't actors. We didn't have access to actors. We just had access to their characters,
Yep.
and they've always stayed that way. Like Urkel will always be Urkel or Stefan, depending which episode you watch.
Yep.
But I mean, he was never Jaleel White.
Fair.
And,
Okay. Yeah.
and even now, how many people would know the actor's name? How many people would know Jaleel White? Everybody knows Urkel.
Sure. Absolutely.
So it's that frozen moment in time before the internet was even a thing that everybody just knew these characters as the characters without the actors behind.
So, okay, can you name off like some of the TV shows and or movies that you have like a decent collection of?
It's right. It's still new, right? Because I'm going through so much of this.
Mhm.
I'm excited because I'm getting within the next couple of weeks back from PSA. I'm getting Muppets back, so like early '90s Muppets. I'm getting Muppets and NHL hockey crossover matchups.
Oh yeah. Oh, dude, I give away packs. I feel bad doing this now that
No,
you're saying this.
no,
I
the
give
packs are
away those
worthless.
packs. No,
The packs are worthless. I opened 2 boxes and I sent in maybe 10 cards, right? They're not worth anything unless they're a PSA 10, right?
sure.
A PSA 8 is worth $1. A PSA 10 is worth 150. I don't know. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
because the market doesn't exist for this.
Well, what about like say the Urkel, the PSA 10 Urkel
sure.
you've got? Now this comes from it was a 1991 product. What was the name of that product?
Laughs. Laffs. And it had Family Matters, and it had Full House, and it had The Perfect Strangers. So those 3 sitcoms. I don't know how Perfect Strangers quite snuck in there. That was kind of a
I was gonna say like
TGIF.
I was gonna say I don't remember Perfect Strangers. I remember Step by Step. What else was in there? Boy Meets World was in there, wasn't it?
It was later. It was after those shows because that was just like a little bit after my time.
Okay, yeah. But there was so you have found that in that card. What does an Urkel PSA 10 go for?
I have it listed for 100. It's a pop 4. Okay. I have 3 of them.
And it's only $100, dude. You got to crank that up.
Okay,
that's a $200 card all day at least.
Look, I have taken like I say by the bell cards, right? Are my piece de resistance, right? And so most of those are all pop ones. The PSA 10s are all pop ones, and I've taken most of them because I keep them for myself until the world's ready. Right? This is not ready for this yet.
No. This is a preview for many people that we will not know when the world is ready, but it's not ready now.
It's not ready now. But I mean, you know that too, right? That's why you have this podcast and you're like, look, we need to get this out there and how awesome these cards can be. And look, sports is completely saturated, right? It's over. It's done with. People can't even get in anymore. It's so expensive.
Yep.
But you can still buy pop culture cards for, I mean, of course the old junk wax, right? It's dirt cheap. Yep. But the new stuff, like it's pretty cheap, and there's no way that people only like sports.
I agree.
So there's so much more out there, and I'm just excited. It's funny you mentioned the Rolling Stones release last week, and I felt I did such a disservice to the music card industry because it's not going to do well. There's nothing in it. Who's that for?
Yeah, I do feel bad about it, but you're right. Like that's the thing. There's just not enough of what it could be.
You're telling me if you don't do a release of 70s like rock bands, like yacht rock, like Steely Dan autos, that would kill.
Absolutely. No, it really would, but it's okay because like if it was like a set from the 90s or 80s or something like that where it was just paper, it would be okay because it would be acceptable because we know what the limitations were at the time. Today, it's like you don't have an excuse for that. Like if you're going to make the product, it should have these things that we are now coming to expect.
Yeah, like you see this across all cards, right? It's not just a release. Like you need your autos, you need memorabilia, you need something interactive, like hopefully something online, like draw more fans in. And only Rolling Stones isn't going to do that. Like you need more than just Rolling Stones.
And
But
I mean, I understand why your Danny Tanner does not have an
yeah,
auto on there. And granted, we wouldn't get one today, unfortunately. But to know that Bob
rip.
Saget has a PSA 10 full house card out there that you
Yeah,
have, is that a pop one as well?
that's a pop one.
That's a pop one.
Maybe pop two. I mean, I have all of them. Whatever pop it is, I have all
That is so. And why do you think
of them.
that? Do you think people are just like, oh, well, there's just not, even if it comes back at 10, it's not going to be valued as anything worth it? Or is it just like, nah, I just can't find a 10? Like, I'm curious, like, do you look and see before you send something in if there are any 10s out there already?
Oh no, right?
Oh, really?
None of these cards were like for value,
Oh, okay.
right?
This is
There
for
is
your
value. There is
collection.
value there, but they're fun, right?
Yes.
Again, it's the dumb fun of it. Um, Gosh, I wish I'd pulled it up. There is a card from the 2024 last year collegiate release, and it's at the Baylor Field, and it's a picture of a cat, and
Yes.
the card's name is Cat, right? And so somebody else who was in that like PR meeting, who was in the meeting, was like, "This is so dumb, but we have to put it in.
Yeah.
This is so awesome."
But people
And
like that card.
I love that card, right? I have it 1 out of 50, right? And I don't have any other card from that whole set, but that set, I'm like, this is awesome. This thing is, and so same thing with all of these cards, right? I grade them for fun. Of course, I want a 10 because that scarcity just adds such a chef's kiss
Mm-hmm.
to the ridiculousness of it.
Well, what
Um,
does your collection look like? Like, how many cards
okay.
of, like, say, Saved by the Bell do you have?
Um, I don't PC very much, right?
Okay.
And so like what I have behind me is PC, like PC Thanos and Dumb. Awesome.
How did you get into? So you started as a Thanos collector. When did you start doing that?
Mhm. Um, at the During the MCU, right after Infinity War,
Oh, okay. Okay. So
so
what was that, like 2018, 19, something like that?
2018, 19, yeah.
Okay.
Um, and
Eh,
so like in the article, I kind of talk about it. I bought my parents' house from them. They moved into assisted living.
mhm.
Um, and so I got their house, and as I was going through cleaning everything out, I came across my old baseball cards, and of course, I Tale as old as time, Beauty and the Beast reference there for you.
Thank you.
Um, yeah, sent off all those cards to my childhood junk wax trading cards. I'm like, oh, these are perfect. Look at these nines. Look at these tens. It's beautiful. It comes back. And
Mm,
I got them back, and now I have a Cal Ripken on a Jets. And I realized like, I don't care about these guys anymore.
yeah.
And so, like, what do I care? And I already had like a Thanos 2020 shirt, like for president. I had Thanos figurines. And so I'm like, yeah, no, I do love this stuff. Like, and that MCU like will never be duplicated. It's so fun, so amazing. Um, and it had built up like such a love in me for those characters all over again. So I started piecing Thanos, right? And yeah, I've kept doing it.
So how did you go from Thanos, which is still a very
Mm-hmm.
popular character, to characters
Mm-hmm.
that are like not as popular today? I mean, I hate to say it, but Stefan
Debatable.
Urkel is not necessarily as chaste as a Thanos or
Yeah.
other MCU character might be today.
Unfortunately, that the Thanos population out there of cards is limited.
Mm-hmm.
So I needed to broaden my horizons. And it was the beginning of 2023 when I really got into heavily grading cards. And the Disney Kakao set had
Oh,
just come
okay. Cool.
out. And yeah. And I mean, those cards looked awesome. And you'd never seen a Disney release that looked as clean, as like fresh, as the characters like pop like that. So start heavily invested in that. It it paid off well. Not great because I didn't know what I was doing as well. So I didn't get the bigger cards. Um, and then my wife, bless her heart, um, had health issues. So she
Mhm.
lost her job and couldn't work anymore. So I'm like, okay, I need to make more money for us. So that's when I brought in my horizons from Disney and started looking at all pop culture.
And so pop culture, oftentimes, like if you're going to start looking into that side of things,
Yep.
this like Laugh specifically, like that set, I want a box of it. Like, and I haven't been able to find one. Like, how much does that
What?
cost these days?
Not much, right?
Okay, it's
30,
relatively cheap.
$30, $30
Good.
for 36 packs. No, it's cheap.
And then
Um,
if you were to go after something else besides that, what other sets are out there that are, I guess, more iconic to your childhood, my childhood, people of like
yeah.
their 30s and 40s right now?
Okay. So I've got 90210 coming, Beverly Hills 90210 coming back. I've got the A Team. I've
Nice.
got, um, oh my God, the A Team. Mr. T, right, is literally the pinnacle of dumb to awesome. And there's a card of him like doing like a glamour shot, like over the shoulder.
That's so great. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And it's so funny. It's so funny. If I could get that in a 10, like, oh, be still my beating heart. Um, so I've got A Team, and these are fun, right? They're not going to be that valuable. So I have a ton of Disney. I have a purple set of PSA 10s of 2023 Disney Chrome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on the 101 Dalmatian PSA 10 set for the 2024 Disney Chrome.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, and those cards, I mean, they're fantastic. They're awesome. They're so well made. So those are really fun.
Now, what would you say your most like expensive, I guess, or most valuable card is?
I have a 101 Diamond Mickey, or a 100 Diamond Mickey from the 2023.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I imagine that's probably like 15, 20,000 now.
That's insane.
Yeah, no, those cards I mean, they're crazy, and right now they're like absolutely blowing up.
Would you, and now, and I asked this because like I know the value of these 90s cards and it's very
Mm-hmm.
high. However, high value does not necessarily denote high dollar value in some cases, but
Yep.
I am
Yep.
curious, is there like one that is more chased than others that you found across your collecting and grading experience?
Like the issue that I'm running into is the people that want to buy these cards don't even know they exist.
Yeah. Okay. I could
Yeah.
100% see that. Yeah.
Yet, right? Yet.
Yeah. Yes.
And but that's the problem that a lot of people run into with a lot of these pop culture cards, and like even Disney, right? The end buyer might not even know a Snow White PSA 10 exists yet.
Yeah. But
I
that's the
mean,
thing. The Snow White, like the Disney stuff that Topps is making now, that and the Marvel, that's all like newer.
mhm,
So they're actively like going to market it. So you could
yeah,
see more people learning about that. But
yep,
my thinking is
yep,
like some of this stuff that creates so much nostalgia in our minds that is
mhm,
not like already being actively reproduced, because that's what it seems like there a lot of people are marketing towards is, oh, we already know nostalgia brings in the dollars, we're going to redo this or
mhm,
do a remake TV show or whatever the case. But like they're not redoing a lot of the, I was about to say they're not redoing Full House, but I just realized they already did redo Full House. but they're not
Harry
doing
and the
like
Hendersons.
they're not
They're
doing
not
card
redoing Alf.
sets. There you go. There you go. But they're not doing card sets of those at least. So it's like there's not going to
Yeah,
be active marketing towards those other than places like this where we're talking about this stuff that most people aren't going to just find unless they go actively looking for it.
yeah. Okay. Now I would also argue that like even the person who this is for wouldn't buy it for themselves. The person who's going to buy it is going to buy it as a gift because they know somebody well enough that, oh my gosh, I'm going to get this, right? So the person who loves Alf and like jokes about it doesn't necessarily buy Alf memorabilia, right? But
Yeah.
their best friend who they joked about it with is going to buy that card for them. And the laugh that they have together that somebody, being me, sent this card off to be graded and like
Yeah.
spent their time opening these packs to find a like decent condition card, send it off, and then sell it is going to be hilarious, right? I mean, there's a ton of value in that for people, and it's all in laughs, right? It's just all And
I agree. Yeah, the good times that we have in talking about it, remembering the episode or remembering where
yep,
we were when we
yep.
saw it or any of that stuff, like that's what brings back the enjoyment of these cards. And I love that you have like you've got it like behind you in your office where it's like
Oh,
prominent people that can walk in and see your collection.
mhm,
I and that's the thing, like we are children of the 90s in a lot of cases, 80s and 90s, and it's like this is what we call back to and where we
mhm,
remember like sleepovers at friends' houses on the weekends and pizza night on Fridays. And like, it's just, this is how we enjoyed ourselves as young kids. And to be able to have this at an actual inexpensive cost, because we talk
yep,
about like the more modern stuff, the Marvel and Disney that Topps is putting out, and I love it. I love to not only collect it but break it as
yep.
well. But at the same
It's
time,
awesome.
I also recognize that that's not something that's affordable for everybody,
It's it's
unfortunately.
wild. It's
And
wild. The cost is really unfortunate.
yeah, but I mean, but there's also the good side of that. I do like the fact that
Yep,
what I collect could be worth $20,000, like your Mickey Mouse
yep,
card. But so at
yep.
the when it comes down to it, though, it's like that doesn't mean that everything should be like that or is like that even. And these junk wax sets, which it also begs the question, like, does that change? Like, does the fact that we just talked about, many people don't know that these junk wax sets even existed to begin with. If it were to become more popular, people were to find out, do we start seeing these go up in value? I don't know if that's the case, but I also couldn't imagine it to become the same value as what we're seeing as modern, like 2024, 25 Marvel Topps Chrome products being. So it's
Huh.
like there still seems to be room to get in, no matter if you got in right now or even if it did go up a little bit in value.
Sure. I no. It's never going to be expensive.
Yeah.
There are no chase cards, right?
Yeah.
There are 88 cards, period. And every box will have all 88 cards. And you can find one in a PSA 8 or 9, and the eye appeal is a 10. In every, like,
Yeah.
so the scarcity of getting a PSA 10 and spending the time to look through it. But the nostalgia of going through it, I opened up a Pee Wee Herman box,
Hmm.
and seeing Cherry and seeing Terry the Pterodactyl. And one of the cards says Mecha Leka High, Mecha Heiny Ho. And I was like, oh my God, please
Oh.
let this be a 10. Uh,
It's yeah.
because that chuckle, right? And you like go back, you remember the genie's face like floating, and you imagine showing that to someone, right? And you
Yeah.
just like it is, you just dumb. It's so dumb, and you just laugh because it is awesome at the same time.
Man. And
Uh,
and is this the case? I read in the article like you
mm-hmm,
were in the Air Force for a number of years.
mm-hmm, yep,
Do you know, I'm sure you probably still know of guys in active duty. Do you know many
mm-hmm,
that are card collectors? Because I have seen more and more guys will be posting in like the non-sports cards nonsense group about like
mm-hmm,
they found this in a commissary or something like that, like where they could go and buy
yep.
card packs. And so I'm curious, was your love for, or did you ever think that you would be collecting non-sports when you got out of service?
No, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I separated because of it was a medical separation,
Hmm.
right? And so, I mean, it took me 5, 6 years to really like get my feet underneath me, right? I did things I didn't like doing, um, and that's the beauty of of card collecting, right?
Yeah.
And being able to sell cards is I work at my own time, and I do something that's really fun, right? There is no stress in this. The stress is like, is this going to be a PSA 10, right? And
Yeah.
if it's not, I lose $15, right? It's not. Um, and so for me, right, that's just fantastic, right? It just gave me such an opportunity to contribute back to society, which for anyone is incredibly important,
Yeah.
especially for disabled veterans who really feel like they can't do what they used to. Um,
Hmm.
and these cards really afforded me an opportunity to feel valuable again. So, I mean, outside of card value, there's a lot of human value in these cards too.
I couldn't agree more, man. And I am like, so do you know guys that collect cards as well? Because I know a lot of times people will say like, I'm the only one in my friend group that's a card collector, and then I know people online that collect.
I'm getting them there,
Yeah,
right? Whether they like
good.
it or not.
Yeah.
Um, my dad collected cards ish. but he sold all of his. So nobody else really in my family, but my wife and I will, when we travel, we will bring packs of cards with us. So we've got the Cackrell, Marvel, and Star Wars, because those packs are relatively inexpensive and fun,
Yeah.
right? So the kids can like rip those. We have a few Pokemon packs, um, but I don't know, there aren't hits. Pokemon's not, you just throw the commons away, whereas the commons of the Warner Brothers Cackrell set were awesome.
Yeah.
So
I get that. I 100% get that, because I'm often like, I'll open up Pokemon and I'll just skip right to the foil, and then
that's all that matters.
but yeah, all the other stuff, it's like, oh wait, no, I actually still care about these characters and everything
No,
else
you
that's
don't.
going on, and some
No,
of
you
the
don't. No one does.
no, I mean like in like the like Warner Brothers products, or like even
Oh,
older products, like where
yeah.
it's like I recognize the scenes and or
Yeah.
characters in that. It's like, yeah, there's reason to collect those, or at least stop and look through them before I skip to like maybe the one card I'm chasing in the set.
Before the one refractor. Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, that Warner Brothers set was fantastic. Right.
Yeah.
There were so many fun cards, and the mashup cards in that, where they combine two characters.
Sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. Very cool.
I don't know if you can pitch that to Tops, like
Well,
mashup.
I mean, it's not a bad idea. The Kakawao has done a number of things that I really like. The only thing that I have not loved is like the lack of descriptions in some of their cards, and like the like it's just the name of it, and then it's like I don't know any, like, what if I don't know that character? I don't even know what the character could be from, especially when they do multi-movie sets or something. So yeah, there's issues with it, but there's also good things that they've done. But bottom line is, yeah, I think what you're collecting and what you're really emphasizing on the importance of nostalgia and why you're collecting some of these cards, it doesn't necessarily mean the value is monetarily. It's more of like the value means something to you and maybe to your friends and family, and who knows who we could be educating right now to be able to go out and find some of this and start, getting it for themselves. And the fact that you grade it all, or you grade some of it, I should say, is that important to you? Because I do. There is something about where it's like, oh, I've got a graded version of that card versus like the raw version. The raw version could feel like $1 to me, and even if it's like an 8 or 9, it doesn't even have to be a 10. It's like, oh, it comes back a grade that is anything now that it's encased and someone else approved of this card in one way or another. It's like, oh, there is more value than there was if that was just a base card.
Oh, I mean,
or raw
hands down, like, yeah, no, the raw cards, I wouldn't even care about them. But as soon as it comes back as graded, like a 9, a high grade, an 8, a 9, or a 10, especially with, I mean, again, these sets, like, that's the real value of them. Finding the card itself, it's $1 card, right? You can find they are not expensive. The Saved by the Bell actually is like starting to get up there. And so I imagine if there aren't too many more of those PSA 10s that come out, those will be valuable. That was such a popular show, such an iconic show in so many of our lives. Like, if you didn't love Kelly Kapowski, I don't think we could be friends. I mean, that's just it.
I mean, I hate to agree 100% with you, but I agree 100%. Like, it is something that I don't know many of my friend group who doesn't appreciate those characters in one way or another. And it doesn't mean they necessarily like the cards, but they don't know they don't like them because they don't know anything about them. So I need to introduce them. We, as a collective, those listening to this, you yourself, we can all do our part in letting them know, like, hey, you want a little piece of nostalgic memorabilia? Let me show you this little baby, my PSA 3 random Alf character. It's like, here you go. Take that and put that in your pocket.
With the bowling ball. Amazing.
Well, hey, I really appreciate this, Matt, for coming on, talking a little bit about this. In fact, the reason why we even started talking was you had initially reached out to see if I had any extra PSA magazines, which I can't give you mine because I had Gary sign it because it has the V-Friends cat on the front of it, and he was in the office when I got it. But if anybody else has them and they want to get them to you, or if you want to, I don't know, however you want to make that happen, Matt Hathorn is interested in your magazines.
Yeah, right. This is it. this is so I'm in the back of this magazine, and Gary, who will always be my arch nemesis now, um, it came with a sealed card, right? And that card is valuable.
Yeah.
So buying this magazine is like by itself. I can find like I found four of them. Um, but if it has the card in it, it's like $50. Like
Yeah.
Gary,
He
God
really
bless
jacked.
it.
Yeah, he jacked up your chance of really getting able to collect
Golly.
the magazine you had an
I-
article in. But it's still cool though. Like that means there's that
Yeah.
many more people that are going to find your article because they're actually looking at that
Mm,
specific issue.
maybe.
Well, they have
But
to see if they open up the back cover to see how rare their cover
Yeah.
is, then they'll see
That's true.
the last page of your article. And so boom,
That's true.
bam, that's a win.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, they, where, if people want to like check out some of your cards or anything else you got going on, go ahead and throw a plug in here.
Awesome. Thanks. I appreciate that. So the best way is on Instagram, just at Funkle Cards, Funkle_cards. And that's why I post most of what I'm sending off to PSA and the highlights of what I get back.
Nice.
So you'll see like kind of like what I'm sending out, and then 3 months later, like how they actually did. And so I've got, and then I should be like within the next 10 days, getting back Fright Night, getting back some 90210 cards, and hoping those, and again, like the Muppets and NHL mashups. So they're so dumb, but they're awesome.
Don't you dare call them dumb. They're amazing.
It's okay. It's okay to be dumb and awesome.
That's fair. I agree with that. I mean, look, spitting example right here. You're looking
Yeah,
right at
there
him.
it is.
I mean,
All
come
of
on.
it. Okay, but I do have a question for you real quick.
Oh, yeah, shoot. Yeah, what's up?
Okay. So with the hate that facsimile autos get, it blows my mind.
Yeah.
I
agree.
can't, I can't, like, you see these, somebody's excited about getting their facsimile auto and they post it on Reddit, and the first 4 comments are be like, that's dumb. And you're like, what, why?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So I have a few would you rather autographs for you.
Oh, okay. Sure. Yeah. Shoot.
Okay. So would you rather have a Luke Skywalker facsimile auto or Mark Hamill signed Luke Skywalker card?
Of Mark Hamill, I think. Yeah. Well, I mean,
Okay.
that feels like
agreed.
that feels like a no-brainer to me, but yeah.
That one's easy. Okay. Now, what about Buzz Lightyear? Would you rather have it signed by Tim Allen or facsimile auto Buzz Lightyear?
Ooh. See.
Yeah.
See, now because here's the thing, the fact that because Buzz did sign in the 2024 Disney Topps Chrome product, right? Like that was a facsimile auto in there, right?
Yep.
But now here's the thing though. Are we talking about this moment or when Topps actually comes out with the Toy Story anniversary set that they've already announced, and you have like the Tim Allen actual approved auto on that card? That also, that begs a question of how I would view it. It's got to come down to a number of things, and I don't know how to choose. And that, I think, also indicates to me like, oh, well, if I'm having trouble choosing between the real person and the facsimile, it's because I know that there is actual value versus like the nostalgic and like the desire to actually have the Tim Allen card. Yeah, that's hard, man. I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's fun, right? Because some of these characters that we talked about, the character transcended the actor.
Yeah, exactly. And I go back to the fact that when you go to Disney World, the characters, like the dressed up characters, they're all trained to sign as that character. Like they're trained to have the same autograph. And it does. And again, I get it. Like if people aren't into it, whatever, that's fine.
Cool.
And it's the same thing as like a downtown. A downtown is not your normal sports card. It has like illustrations of wherever the city or wherever the team is. But you know what? People like it because it's cool. It's a little different, and it's just a different style of doing it.
It's fun.
I get that Buzz Lightyear is not in the back offices as top signing all these stickers. Like I know that's not the case, but it is unique. They do it in a style that would be unique to that character, and it adds like just a cool new insert into that product that I want to chase.
It sets it apart from every other card, from every other collectible you have of that character.
Yeah,
And it's just fun.
I
Okay.
agree.
Okay.
And
It's not over. We're not done yet.
there's more. Oh yeah.
Ian McClellan or
Mm.
Magneto.
Mm. I mean, again, I think it would go back. It's a very similar vibe of,
No, gun to your head.
oh, I want Ian, I think, because he's not going to be signing much longer.
He's bigger.
Yeah.
He's Gandalf as well. He's bigger than Magneto.
Yeah, he is. He really is. He's multiple people.
Okay, last one.
Okay.
A Tom Holland Spider-Man card signed by Andrew Garfield, or a Garfield the Cat card signed by Tobey Maguire.
And that's your show, folks. Thank you so much for coming on, Matt. I have no way of answering that question.
Not with that attitude.
No. Oh, geez. I'm going to say, I think I'm going to go Tobey Maguire Garfield Cat. Yeah. I want the Tobey Maguire. Did he voice? Is there any association with Garfield and Tobey Maguire? Good.
None.
Even better. It makes it even better to me then. Yeah, give me that one. Oh, wow.
Okay, but that is like where it's so dumb. Like, why would you do this?
But I love the nonsense of it. And that is exactly.
That's nonsense.
Yeah, that's utter nonsense, and I'm here for it. So thank you for these questions. I did not realize that I was going to get questions, and I love getting questions. So thank you, Matt.
It does show you the value of those facsimile items, that they are fun.
Oh, I agree. And I'm also okay if people don't like them. That's okay too. But you know what? Yeah. Don't hate on me because I do like them. All right. That's all I'm asking. All right. Matt Hathorn, again, thank you, sir. We really do appreciate it. Thank you for your collecting, and thank you for coming on the show today.
Hey, just really appreciate your time. Thank you, man.
All righty. All right. There you go. That was Matt Hathorn. Guys, one of the things I wanted to mention that I feel like I totally failed and forgot to mention, he had sent me over a card before the interview. I did not know that he was going to send me a card. But he said he wanted to send something over. I got what it's called, The Last of Eckart or Eckert. I think it's Eckert. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's a character from Batman. If you saw Batman, I think it was Batman with the Joker, I want to say. This came out of 1989. Now I'm totally blanking. It was 1989 Batman movie. So that would be the one with the Joker. This was card 142 from Topps Batman series. And if you know who that character is, it is the same actor that plays Jack Porkins, a personal hero of mine, but also someone I've been recently collecting some of their sketches and some of the cards of. But it's just such a great crossover to the Batman series. And what's really cool is kind of like how Matt talked about, like the scarcity of some of these graded junk wax, quote unquote, cards. There's only 2 graded PSA cards of this specific The Last of Eckart card. And I have one of them, which is awesome. He sent me it's a PSA 7. There's a PSA 7 and there's a PSA 9 out there. Or, I'm sorry, PSA 10, excuse me. Whoever has the PSA 10, I'm a buyer. I mean, look at me. I am a buyer. But that said, I'm so proud to have one of them. And I think it was really cool of him to do that. And I just want to say thank you. And if anybody else wants to check out, so he has tons of these listed. He told me afterward, I think he said he was like the 4th or maybe 5th. Let's call it 4th just to give him the promotion. Biggest non-sport card seller on eBay last month. His page is Mathrin Antiques. I think he said he may be rebranding or something like that, but it's Mathrin, Mathryn Antiques. That's his hobby shop name. If you're in the market for some of these, Saved by the Bell 1992 cards from Pacific, he's got so many of them and a lot of PSA 10s. It's very impressive. And I'm very hard pressed not to just hit buy now on a lot of them. But anyways, you guys can go and check those out if you're interested. I said I wanted to plug it. He said he wasn't going to try and push it, but I pushed it for him. You're welcome, Matt. All right. And one other thing I was just going to mention too. So thank you all, anybody who helps support the other sponsor of the show, which is DC Sports 87. They're a great consigner, great to work with, and they're great at taking feedback and helping you, the collector too. So they had up until today, which is June 30th, they had a big push for TCG cards where they were giving a 95% payout on any card submitted through today. There was a couple guys who mentioned like, hey, there was some, I noticed like the description on here, they didn't have exactly right. And they said they reached out to them and now they're getting it fixed. I also messaged just to confirm, but they were already on top of it. They were already updating these listings. And then they said like, for the guys who may have experienced like, oh, well, I didn't get it as high as I think it should have been, or if they noticed that too, they're taking care of them as well. It's great to work with a company that is like, oh, our bad, we will fix that. So that being said, I didn't notice that on mine. Like I sent in a ton of cards, TCG cards, because I was like, hey, I'm going to take advantage of this special too. Just because I'm promoting it doesn't mean I'm not taking advantage of it. So anyways, I did that, and I actually thought a lot of them did really, really well. Some of them are ending tonight, but some of them are much higher than I had seen and higher than what the previous comps were when I sent them in. So anyways, just a shout out to DC Sports 87. If you guys are looking to consign both sports and non-sports, they are the largest consigner on eBay for cards. You will not be disappointed. They do have a special that will be coming up at the National, so it doesn't really apply yet, but it's only a month away. But anyways, any national exclusive release, so any card that's released at the National, or anything that you drop off at the National, they're basically saying that will be listed same day consignment at no additional cost. Usually there's a fee to get something listed same day. So pretty cool special. It just has to be over $50. So it's just a value of $50 or more. If you drop it off the National, you get to same day consignment. All right. So thank you to anybody who sponsors the show, both Courtyard and DC. I appreciate you guys, but really sincerely, thank you to you guys who listen, because again, it doesn't help that when I got off that interview with Matt, part of like the 15 minutes of us talking was like probably like 11 minutes of him just complimenting me in the podcast and listening to the guests that come on here. So whether you're a guest that comes and joins me, if you write in, or if you just listen to this show, it means the world to me. And I really do appreciate it. And I love to see how it's growing, to take in the not only the feedback that you guys give me and try and make the show better, but also just to know that you appreciated it, that it was there and you guys are enjoying the content means a lot. So thank you guys again. Really do appreciate it. Until next week, have a great one. We'll talk to you soon.